Hey everyone, it's Shobit, and today we'll be talking about the four things you must not ignore when you're looking for your new amazing dream product management role. Stay tuned for more. Now, if you're watching this video, one of the things that's probably on your mind is a goal. You want to go after, let's say, a L6 product manager role at Google, or maybe it's a L9 at Amazon. Whatever your goal is, you have something in mind. But if you're like most people, you're probably doing this thing of creating this list of all the things that you must do in order to achieve that goal. So I've seen people, I've seen some of my awesome clients who got massive results begin by having this huge list of things that they needed to accomplish before they could have their dream role. Just as example, oh, I'm not going to go for Google right now. Why not? Well, because I've only been a product manager for 4 years. I feel I should get at least 6 to 8 years of experience. So I'm going to go for this sort of company. Work for so many years, get to know machine learning, and I'm gonna become a really awesome PM, and only then will I go interview for Google. I'm gonna talk to 100 people before. I'm gonna build this exciting portfolio. I'm gonna talk to my shrink, my cat shrink, my resume coach, my mindset coach, my psychotherapist, physiotherapist. You get the picture. All these things. I'm gonna get an expert in AWS certification. I'm gonna get Google Cloud certification. It just keeps going on and on and on. Why? Why is there a huge list before you go and just get your dream role? Well, it might be possible that you're not qualified right now for that exact role that you're after. But if you're like most people, hear me out. If you're like most people who I see, this list is just a way of overcomplicating things. And the reason why it exists is by overcomplicating, you get a place to hide. You are hiding from the things that you are most afraid of. And yes, you might say, Shobit, that's not me, but I want to challenge you. It's probably something there. It's probably something you're doing to overcomplicate things so that you hide from going for the big goals. Because look, I've literally challenged folks. They're like, hey, Shobit, not Amazon right now. I'm like, okay, awesome. Not Amazon right now. Why not? And then they had the list, and I'm like, okay, let's say you tried for Amazon right now. What's the worst thing that would happen? I'm going to get rejected. Okay. And if you don't try at all, what's going to happen? Well, I won't get the job anyway. So what's the harm in trying, right? What's the harm in trying? And once people get that, they still come up with all sorts of reasons. Like, hey, Shobit, then Amazon will remember that, uh, you know, in 2021, I tried for this, and now I'm trying again in 2023, and that will be a ding in my application. Really? Does Amazon fucking care how many times you've tried before? They don't. They absolutely don't. So the goal here is not to overcomplicate things. I'm bringing that first because it's one of the things that comes over and over again. It's to, number one, gain clarity on what it is that you really want. Second, figure out what's the shortest path to that goal. And to simplify, simplify, simplify so that you can just go and land that dream role right now. Because look, I know enough people who are hiding in problems. They're getting ready to get ready. They're doing the busy work that seems great. It's tedious. I mean, one of the favorite busy goals that people do, calling it out, is getting certificates in anything from product management, from any school that offers product management certificates to this, that, the other. Like they're just busy doing all that because it's safe. or they're busy getting more technical certifications, AWS or GCP certified, because Google will like me more because I'm GCP certified. I mean, Google doesn't give a rat's ass if you're going for product management role, if you're GCP certified or not, to be honest. So get rid of that busy work that's tedious, that seems like you're making progress, but you really are not. It's keeping you safe. And let's go into the four things that you must not ignore, the things that really matter when you seek a product management role. Let's get right into that. Okay, the number one thing on that you must not forget when you're going for a product management job is clarity. It's being clear on what you want to happen. Now, this sounds simple because when I ask people what do they really want, I get a laundry list of things. And the laundry list of things very often comes from their current job. They are they're more interested in avoiding all the things that have gone wrong before than looking for a future that is actually ideal for them. And if you think about it, you know, one of my favorite people I follow, whether it's Joe Dispenza, one person I really follow, he often says it's time to get defined by a vision of the future rather than the memories of the past. And most of the times, what you want, they are determined by memories of the past. I had a bad boss who what is it called? Overmanaged me, micromanaged me, and so I never want that again. Or I worked for a company which was not product led, so I don't want that again. I don't want to be paid less than I'm worth. I don't want this. I don't want that. Cool. What it is that you really want? What will help you move on the path to getting true satisfaction, true happiness, true sense of accomplishment? And look, I'm always one of those people who says your sense of happiness, accomplishment comes from you, not from the job that you're in, but the job helps. So let's really figure out what is it that you truly want to happen in this new role. And let's build the dream role, even if it's not 100% attainable right now. Look, I'm also a realist. I also know that you can't jump from zero to like the best job ever right away, but you can get on a path to that. So it's clear, it's important to understand what is it that you want over the long term and what is most important to you for the short term. And very often the key is what is most important for you in the short term. Because if I'm asking you to make a list of everything that's important, you'll probably come up with like a laundry list of 10, 20 things. All of it sounds great, like all those things that sound great, but they're not really important to you, like product led company, brand, all these things. Like, do they really matter? I mean, really, the rubber hits the road when I make people make trade-offs. And this is some of the most powerful sessions we have in Intentional Product Manager, is when people need to actually choose and make trade-offs on the things that are most important to them. For somebody, it might just come down to what's most important to me right now, Shobit, is money. And the reason why it's most important is because in 4 years, my kids are going to college. I don't have enough saved up. And I want to be the parent who pays for their college. And so I need to make as much money as I can in the next 4 years. Cool. Gives us something to work towards. Money is not bad or good. It just makes you more of what you are. It brings the best or the worst out in people. And so it's just one of those things that's a consideration. Or brand. I mean, I have always worked for small companies. When people look at my resume, it doesn't get a second look while others do. And so for me, working for Google or Facebook or Amazon or Microsoft is most important right now. Cool. We can work towards that. Or mission. One of my clients who I worked with, Rohit, for him, mission was super important. And when he found a job which met his mission in a way different than what he was doing right now, life just changed. And after that, he also ended up being a CEO and starting his own company and being the CEO and all those things. But it started with getting that sense of mission that was really crucial. And so, for me, it's often we are choosing, we're making those trade-offs and getting clarity, because once you do, everything works. You go after the right company. You don't waste your time in pursuing jobs that sound great but are not going to give you anything. And then, worst case, you don't go to a company and get disappointed. So clarity comes first. The second thing is getting the interview, getting in front of someone at the company where you want to work at. Now, sounds so simple, but it's one of those cases where people lose sight of the end goal. And what happens is this fairly typical routine of I'm going to get up, I'm going to brush my teeth and do whatever I do. And then I'm going to go to LinkedIn and I will look at all the companies that are hiring that match my search. And I'm going to hit easy apply, submit my resume, and I'm done. And that's where I hear stories of, oh, Shobit, I've applied to hundreds of jobs. Hundreds. Okay, cool. How many interviews did you get? Three. Okay, so something's not working here, right? Why do you keep doing that? Well, because it's easy. It's mindless. I can do it while watching TV. TV's on, LinkedIn's on, hit, apply, done, keep going. Okay, awesome. Time to change it. So, what's important in landing the interview is that you're not applying online, but you are in a very targeted, specific way reaching out to the people that matter and getting them to become your advocates. That's really what we're after. And so, what do the things that come in? Networking comes in here. And for most people, networking is just like a dirty word. They hate it. They absolutely hate it. And what I've also found is that it can be a lot of fun. I mean, to be honest, I have a really strong network now. I'm proud of it. And I've built it over the years. But the the way my network really got kickstarted was, especially in product management, was when I was looking for my first product management role. I met so many people, I got so many interviews where I sucked and I wasn't able to land the job. And I am still in touch with so many of those people, and it just became my network. So even for your long-term thing, recognize that going out and trying to get these interviews is a golden opportunity for you to build your network. Okay, so first of all, that is the mindset with which you need to come in. The second thing also is to realize that the game of applying online is broken. I can't. There's one person who I work with. We also help them get clients, and there's actually a few that we work with. So one of them help them get clients, and we ask them a simple question: how about the people who are applying online? Why don't we also take a look through that, help you sort through that, and get some viable candidates from that? And they literally told us, ignore that. Ignore the 500 applications we've gotten. Too much noise, not enough signal. We hardly ever look at that. And that's not true everywhere, but it's true in a lot of places where the way you get your resume noticed is either you've networked through or you've gone through a referral. Otherwise, it is unlikely going to make it through what they're hiring for. And look, with LinkedIn, with all these other things, there are specific ways that you can network and can get directly in terms of in front of hiring managers and shortcut those things, even if you don't have a strong network right now. And, something people do in my program all the freaking time is that they learn how to network, they use our network, our referrals, and they go land right in front of hiring managers. So that should be a goal, to get the interview. Networking and referrals are your friends. I know it sounds like common sense, but in words of Brendan Richard, common sense is not common practice. So how much are you applying online? There's a place for that, but most of the time, it's not it. But the other thing is an optimized resume and LinkedIn with a specific brand specific positioning statement that you are using to go after your search. See, there is a misconception I want to break here, which is most of the times that jobs have a list of requirements, they go through the requirements, and they pick a person who meets most of those requirements. Probably 20% true. 80% is that they like someone so much that they say, screw the requirements, we are hiring this person. It's even true for a Google, or Amazon, or Facebook, and whatnot. It's even true there. So, what you must showcase with your story, with your resume, with your LinkedIn is what's your spike? What are the things that you have a unique strength in that you bring to the table? And then other cases also you can, cover all the other things, but this is the strength you bring. Because that's the unique thing that people remember you by. And you're much more likely to get that interview because people are like, oh, that's the person who led the biggest crash reporter in the world. That's me. Or that's the person who does product management classes but also loves improv. Also me. I'm just talking about me now. But that's the thing, guys. It's building that resume in LinkedIn to be able to tell that story so that people are attracted to you, not for it to um, pass certain list of requirements. And sure, we have to pay some attention to is it passing ATS systems and all that stuff, and that's a given. But your story really makes the ultimate difference in landing you the interview. So the second thing is, how do you get to interview using your story, using your brand, using your networking skills, and you land the interview. Okay, number 3 is completely 100% wowing them throughout the process of interviewing and networking and all those things. So, you know, uh, again, back to the do I meet all the list of requirements? That's not the goal here. The goal is that you wow them to such a great level that they say, screw the requirements. We're going to hire this person anyway. So, what are ways in which you do that? So, first of all, clarity on your personal brand, what you stand for, what's unique about you, what you bring to the table. You got to have that clarity. We talked about that before, even getting an interview. But then the next part is your confidence level, which means, do you have a mindset that says that they need you more than you need them? Do you have that level of confidence? Or you are like, please take me, because, like the fact is that there's a human condition. There's a human condition, a human tendency, which is we move towards what we cannot have. We want what we cannot have. And if you're the kind of candidate who's like, I would love to work here, please just take me. No, you have to be the kind of candidate that I can see building my career here. It seems like a really awesome place. I think I'll do well here. But also, if you don't take me, it's okay. Somebody else will take me. Not a big deal. I want to work here, but I'm not desperate. I know my value, I know my worth, and I'm going to go find something else. And everything flows with that confidence. Your communication, like, the story you're showcasing, that flows through it. What you showcase, what are the aspects that you showcase, how you relate to people, that also works here. So what is really crucial is that you wow them throughout the interview by doing all these things, by communicating well, by having that confidence, and by showcasing your story as well as your product design skills, so that they ultimately go, yeah, I can see this person working there. I want them here. And you've built the advocate. Okay, number 4, the thing that no one talks about, what I call the button down. So you've done everything. You've got the referrals, went in, interviewed, all those things. Your job is not done. No, no, no. This is just where, like, think of it as a political campaign, right? Like, you have just hit the elections phase, but still the counting needs to happen, the result needs to be declared, and you want to make sure things go well in that process. And I know this is a bad analogy because, like if you've, like me, been through the last election for 7 days, you didn't know who was the winner, just complete nightmare. But it's similar in the sense that you need to button down the job and actually get it. What does that mean? Well, very often people talk about thank you notes. Yeah, those are crucial. But remember, there is a gap here between when um, when the person who's interviewed you, when they submit their final answers, their final assessment. And so what that means is that you're still in a phase where you're building their support. So send that thank you note, build that relationship, add them to network. All those things are important. But what also is important is that are you leveraging the relationships that you had to keep building support at the company? Whether you networked in, whether you um, got a referral that way, all those things matter. I mean, I'll give you a thing about Google, and this is pretty common knowledge, is that they ask people who worked with you about you. That becomes part of your packet that goes to the committee. And so you still aren't done once you've finished the interviews. Sure, if you sucked at the interviews, none of those is going to matter. You're not going to get the job. I get it. But there's still so much you can do from now to, and it's not just getting the offer. This is setting the stage for your negotiations. Because what's true is that Google, when you go and interview there, just as an example, you could get an offer for L5 or you could get an offer for L6. A lot depends on how well you did on the interview, but a lot also depends on the support that you get from the team that you get matched with, from people who you've worked with before, and like so on and so forth. Like all those things add up. Because the difference between an L5 and L6 at Google means approximately 2 to 3 years of your career. Once you're in Google, that promotion takes a while. But the other fact is that the level of compensation is also vastly different. You're talking about making an additional 50, 100, 150K. I don't know what the latest numbers are, but there's a lot of money at play here. And so you can negotiate your level. You can negotiate what you get paid within the level because there's all these different bands. And this is even more true for smaller companies, which have less established things. I mean, I've had people who they interviewed and they were like, cool, you're not the perfect fit for the job, but let's create a position for you because you're just so awesome and we love you. And this hidden job market and the button down phase is so important for it because there's all these things that, companies are still basically taking a step back. They're hiring you to solve a problem. Sometimes people look at your strengths and they say, you don't solve the problem we're looking to solve. Problem you solve really well. And so we're going to hire you for that. So the button down phase is just as important in your job. One thing that you must not ignore when you're going for it. Okay, so those were the 4 things. But remember, they sound great in theory, but they're really hard to implement in practice. And what most people need is a proven mentor, proven guidance to put them into play so that your next product management role is your dream one. You do really well, you find a job that you love to work at, you make shit tons of money, all those things flow, and you have this satisfaction and this happiness. And I want to make sure you don't shortchange yourself, because if you do shortchange yourself, you're just talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, over the course of your career that you're leaving on the table. So, in order to get the help that you need and you deserve, intentionalproductmanager.com/apply. Apply to speak with us. Somebody from my team will have a chat with you, and everyone's qualified to help you really uncover and get clarity on what are the challenges in your career, what are your goals, and how do we get you from point A to point B? Build a step by step plan. And if we can help in that, we will certainly show you how. Even if not, this is something we just love to do, help people get that step by step plan, so that they can succeed in their career. And a lot of people end up working with us anyway, but we just get satisfaction from doing that. So intentionalproductmanager.com/apply. We look forward to speaking with you very, very soon.